I want to get to some breaking news yet. Right now, a shooting in Phoenix. We know a child has been shot out there and taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Phoenix PD out there with a press conference that we're going to get to. It's at 15th Avenue and Peoria. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. You ready? Everybody good? Okay. Good morning. At about 6:30 this morning, officers responded to a residence in the area of 16th Avenue and Peoria, reference a shooting. When officers arrived, they located a 10-year-old little boy who had been shot and was transported to the hospital with serious and life-threatening injuries. At this moment, what we do know is that the little boy was outside of his residence when an unknown vehicle it was reported an unknown vehicle drove into the complex and began to shoot at least 3 times in the direction of the child and another adult male. At this moment, we don't have any additional suspect or vehicle description. What I can tell you is that the little boy has life-threatening injuries, and I'm hoping that he will recover. Additional information will be provided as we continue to work and talk to witnesses at the scene. That's the only information I have right now.
Do you think that they knew each other at all, the folks in the car? And
it doesn't sound like they did. It sounds like this is people that they did not know, and there's different variations of that vehicle description, so we're still talking to family members and witnesses that were here at the moment when the shooting occurred.
A relation between the adult and the 10-year-old?
It sounds like that was his dad.
And where were they?
So as you can see, it's an apartment complex. So they were in a courtyard area. There is ability for vehicles to drive into that parking lot. So they were in between the courtyard when the vehicle drove up behind them.
Did you have any witnesses?
We do have witnesses, and that's what we're waiting for detectives to arrive so that they could actually speak to them and just gather more information, specific information.
What can you tell us that the witnesses said?
Same thing I just said earlier. Basically, a car drove up as a child was walking outside with another adult male. At some point, they heard at least 3 shots, and that's when the child was shot.
How's the adult doing?
He is not injured.
Okay. Did he say if he knew the people in the vehicle or not?
He said he did not know them.
And as for the vehicle, do we believe that there was one person inside? Were there multiple people inside?
You know, that's something that we don't know yet. I could tell you that we have at least obviously one person who was inside that vehicle driving. We don't know if there was an additional person inside that vehicle.
Talk about how scary this is. I mean, at face value, you said you don't think that the two knew each other. To be outside at 6:30 in the morning, enjoying a nice Monday morning, and then to have this happen, so tragic.
Absolutely. So I think that's one of the biggest questions we have this morning is at 6:30 this morning, we have a child that's outside. I mean, like you talked about, it's really nice weather. The adult male was with him. And so we're trying to figure out why at 6:30 this morning we had this vehicle drive up in that apartment complex and specifically shoot in the direction of that child and that adult male.
Is there any chance it could have been shooting at one of the properties behind them, or were they kind of targeted?
So there are no other properties hit by projectiles or any bullet strikes that we're seeing right now. So we're trying to figure out what led to the shooting, and hopefully we'll start talking to witnesses and seeing if we could get some better answers.
And I'm assuming this whole thing.
Or anything going beforehand?
No, there are. What was your question? Sorry.
Did anybody hear any arguments before the shooting took place?
No, there were no arguments.
Do we know what direction that car took off in?
The vehicle was reported leaving, I would say, westbound and then southbound onto Mercer.
When do you think we'll have an idea on this description?
I'm hoping by the time detectives speak to the witnesses, so hopefully maybe late this morning.
Anything else that you want to add?
If anyone has any information at all, to please call the Phoenix Police Department. Let us know if you have any vehicle descriptions or suspects, or if you heard anything and maybe just don't feel comfortable in coming out and speaking to officers right now, please give us a call, the non-emergency number, and let us know what you saw. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that is so sad to hear for that 10-year-old boy who was standing outside in a courtyard with his dad when the officer just said that a car drove up and fired 3 shots, hitting that little boy. Drive-bys like that are pretty random, especially when a little boy gets hurt. But that boy is at the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We'll stay on top of this and continue to bring you the very latest on this.